Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard this evening as we get set up to talk Edmonton Oilers and what has been the craziest part of the season thus far. In 5 games against the Florida Panthers, the Oilers proceeded to come out of the gates in game 1, stonewalled by Bobrovsky, kind of missing the pre-scout and not really taking full advantage of what they could have. In game 1, they fall down 1-0, then they fall down 2-0, then they fall down 3-0. And what has happened since? It was 3-0 for Florida in the series, has been nothing short of the best, saved for last by the Edmonton Oilers in a season in which they've had to have their best so many times over to save their season that very well this seemed impossible down 3-0. And now we're back in Edmonton for game 6 on Friday. Friends, if you're new to the channel, well, I'll tell you this. If you want to stick around, hang out, it could be a pretty crazy next couple of weeks here on the channel. Simply put, we've got the draft, free agency, possibly a game 7, at least a game 6. So I'd encourage you to hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. Stick around. Let's talk Oilers and let's go happily into the summer. Why don't we, right? I think we got that. A pre-game note here on the video today. I was talking on the live stream last night about going up to Edmonton for game 6. Of course, that's best laid plans before you show up to work in the morning and everything gets rearranged. Matt and I should have your call of game 6 and 7 here the rest of the way home. That said, 5-3 against Florida last game out, an amazing victory that was sealed off with quite the theatrics at the end. A diving on the line save by Matthew Tkachuk, swiped over to Connor McDavid, who pots it almost immediately, and the Oilers win 5-3 in what was a thrilling finish to that hockey game. That said, it's the one that brings the Edmonton Oilers back to Edmonton. They dragged the Florida Cats back to Edmonton for game 6 with a chance to send it back to Florida one last time for the end of the season, right? That is, quite honestly, game 7, whether anybody likes it or not, will be the last game of the 23-24 season, which has been an absolute insane one for the Edmonton Oilers and, of course, the Florida Panthers. You can't deny their story in all this as well, but it has been just crazy how this one has lined up, and now we're possibly 1 or 2 games away from the season being over and a Stanley Cup champion being crowned. It's crazy to me as well. I think the other side, too, is listening to 630 Ched, listening to people talk on the counter today, taking some phone calls at work and kind of chatting up people that know me a little bit, know about the Oilers thing. They're kind of always like, hey, like, you're 2 wins away. We're 2 wins away. Holy, we can do this, right? And it's like, you listen to 630 Ched, and you kind of listen to what they're saying, and it's like, I wonder, are the Oilers 2 wins away from the Stanley Cup, or are they one loss away from losing the Stanley Cup? And the way everyone's talking, right after 3-1, we were right back in the series, despite being down 3-1. That seems crazy. But after game 5 and winning that one, it's really insane that, yeah, we are 2 wins away from the Stanley Cup. And I think it's just kind of hitting home today a little bit for people. And it's kind of one of those situations where, as an Oilers fan, you know this team's capable of winning 2 in a row. You know they're capable of winning 3 in a row. You know they're capable of winning 4 in a row, especially after they've lost 3 in a row. So it's kind of one of those nice parts right now. We're halfway through that 4-game win streak that wins us the Cup, and the Oilers get to do it in front of and surrounded by the craziest fan base the NHL has to offer in us Edmonton Oilers fans that'll be lucky enough to be either inside Rogers Place on Friday night or outside Rogers Place in the fan park and in the Moss Pit as we get things going for game number 6. It seems crazy, right? Going into game 4, I'll be honest with you, this is something I don't think I've shared. I had a lot of fear and doubt going into game 4, just knowing that, right, downtown, lots of people, lots of buzz about the game, and if it went sideways, you kind of start planning those contingency plans. If we're down 5-1 at the end of the second period, like maybe let's get out of here and hit the train and let's try and find the car before it gets crazy down there in a bad way. But instead, it was absolute elation downtown Edmonton game 4. Game 5, I don't even know what kind of craziness got up to down in Edmonton. And then obviously game 6 on a Friday night. I am sorry if you live downtown. You better just go out in the streets and party, because it's not going to be an easy night to sleep with how loud downtown Edmonton is going to be in game number 6, especially if the Edmonton Oilers find a way to win that game 6 and send it back to Florida. But just insane to me that at the end of the day it is a 3-2 series now. And quite honestly, after we've seen the Oilers save their own bacon a million times over, and there's a reason Connor Brown's on the thumbnail of this video, it is a mantra, I guess you can say, about this team. They have succeeded every time their back's been to the wall. They've succeeded every time everyone counts them out. And now, halfway through succeeding the final time, they really seem like, you watch Connor McDavid play, you watch everybody else, just how they're falling into their little pieces of the game and stuff. Everybody has saved their best for last. And I think as the stat is, Stuart Skinner has not lost a game after game 3 of a series these playoffs. So it's like, oh boy, there's a lot going in the Oilers' favor. And especially when now all of a sudden you've gotten 3, 5, 4 past Bobrovsky in back-to-back-to-back games. I mean, Stolarz ain't an option. Spencer Knight, maybe, if I don't even know if he's still around in Florida, to be honest with you. I kind of lost track of that name this season, but you get where I'm going. It just seems there's so much going for the Oilers. And then, as I've already talked about in the video, like, you break down the fact that we're doing this in Edmonton on Friday night, a game 6 in June, late June that is, in what is going to be an absolute pandemonium day. It's just going to be insanity to me to sit there and think about how much the Oilers just have tilted the scales in their favor with just 2 wins after being down 3-0. And it's really made the best team win right now. And it's crazy, right? Connor is now in the discussion to win the Conn Smythe, even if the Oilers lose game 6 or 7. I think it's like just, it's nuts. It's really nuts given where we were just a week and a half ago, realistically speaking, right? As you think about going into Edmonton, I guess what would have been Wednesday night. So actually a week ago, Wednesday night, you go into Edmonton for game number 4 coming on. I actually don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. I'm losing track, but you get what I mean. After game 3, it was kind of like, whoa, this is not good. But here we are. I guess it would have been Thursday. Here we are now after game 5, and it's like, hey, it's not B, right? When I said B is lose, you're 1 loss away from losing the Stanley Cup Finals. No, it is A all day. It is A all day in terms of 2 wins to win the Stanley Cup, and that just, I'm trying to put it into words properly here before I end the video. That's what I'm trying to stammer my way through, but it just is just kind of the only way I can phrase it is the Oilers have truly saved their best for last. They still have a tall task ahead of them here, but it's just insane to think that this really is now, after just 2 wins, now you're only 2 wins away from the Stanley Cup, and it's really that close to the job getting done here in June 2024. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I've tried for 8 minutes and failed to really sum up exactly what I'm trying to say, but I think you get the gist of it as we look forward to an absolute atmosphere in downtown Edmonton on Friday. I've already heard some buddies of mine that do freelance work. They've got some video work, and sounds like that video work's going to pertain to figuring out how to get the Oilers game out there to the fans and what the events are going on instead of the event itself. So stay tuned. I might have a photo of that for you, which will be a real testament to the Alberta pride behind the Edmonton Oilers here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Friends, have a great night. I don't think there's much else to talk about. No news today. Real light day as the team traveled, but we'll have more tomorrow as we set up game number 6 Friday night. I'm up on out of here.